met in 2006 and became best friends. We started dating shortly after. We both went to Anderson University. Now I'm a kindergarten teacher.
And I'm a graphic designer, and we both are a part of Love City Church in Norwood.
We just bought a house and we really enjoy doing house projects and making our house a home and having lots of parties and having people over.
Yeah, we like having friends over.
I have always wanted to be a mom. Ever since I was little, I played with baby dolls and played school. As soon as I was able to, I was a babysitter, and now I have my dream job. I'm a kindergarten teacher. When Nathan and I got married, that was the first thing I said. I said, when can we have babies? I want to be a mom. So we waited a while, and then we decided to try to have a baby.
So in contrast to Abby's just deep and strong desire to be a mom, I had never really even thought about being a dad, or I thought about it, but it wasn't something that as soon as we were married I really wanted to do. And I was trying to figure out what it looked like to be a godly leader in a relationship when your desires don't match up. So I started praying about it a ton. I just started to become okay with the fact that I was going to be a parent and a father, and that was started to be a desire in my heart. And then we found out that after we started trying to have kids for a little bit, we found out that we were struggling with infertility.
It was really hard just having someone tell you that, I went to the doctor and I didn't think that infertility would ever be part of my story, and it was heartbreaking. I felt like the one thing I was put on this earth to do, I couldn't do. And that's kind of when God started to change both of our hearts. Through this, we learned to trust God. For the first time, I felt just really was broken down and sad and depressed, and I didn't understand why this was God's plan for my life. And then adoption was laid heavily on my heart. I thought about it, prayed about it. We began to read books and seek counsel about adoption.
And that's whenever God started showing me that we are adopted and into His kingdom and His family. So it really, everything started to click and make sense to us.
I felt like God was telling me, Abby, you're meant to be a mom. Just because your child might not be biologically yours, you are going to be a mom, and you're going to have a kid that you get to love and raise to know Jesus. Nathan and I have learned firsthand that God's timing is perfect. When you adopt, they have you create this profile book. You kind of have to fit your whole life in 3 pages, and they give it to birth families, and they get to basically go through a bunch of books and pick their favorite one. Our book was out for 6 hours, and somebody chose us. It's woven together so perfectly that it's only Jesus. We've faced some big struggles with adoption. Adoption is not everyone's normal story. It's different, and it can offend some people. They don't always agree with adoption. When we were told that infertility was a part of our story, we had to cling on to the hope that Jesus had a plan. Every day I woke up and was just ridden by sadness and weighed down by the fact that I felt like I was never going to get to be a mom, and God's timing has just been beautiful.
We hope that through people watching us go through this, and while it can be difficult, we're trying to choose joy instead of sorrow in these hard situations, and we hope that people will see that and know that if it were up to us, we would be just crying in a pit right now, but God has turned this thing around and made it such a joyful and happy experience. We ended up taking a trip to Tennessee for the weekend with some family, and the Friday before, we turned in our adoption books. So we were coming back up that Monday, and we got an email that said potential match, and I was driving home from Tennessee, and Abby like just looked at her phone and started freaking out.
I started sobbing, but
Yeah.
an excited sob.
Yeah.
I could not breathe. I was so excited.
We had to pull over the car because she was hysterical, and I honestly didn't know what was going on for the first like 10 minutes of what was like. She couldn't even like form words.
We're going to have a son, and his name is Zion. I would give advice to people who are maybe struggling with infertility or struggling with deciding whether to adopt or not. God is in control. I think a lot of times when you hear, news from the doctor that infertility may be a part of your story, obviously it's heartbreaking, just like Nathan and I experienced. But just remember that there's hope, and there's hope in Jesus, and He creates beautiful stories, and He has a plan. Adoption can be overwhelming and expensive, but if Nathan and I can do it, you guys can too. We would love to sit down and talk with anyone, talk about the paperwork, talk about all the hoops you might have to jump through.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's a beautiful story that I cannot believe that Jesus let me be a part of.
We just are super thankful for and appreciative of everyone that has given already, and you are the true heroes here, and we couldn't have done it without everybody's support, and we're thankful to the people that are going to partner with us in the future and help us to be fully funded with this adoption. We
feel called to a life of adoption, and we're so thankful for your prayers and support and continued prayers and support. We love you guys. We're gonna be parents! Woo!